The White House press secretary said that your deployment of the Florida National Guard to protect Floridians from illegal aliens was a political stunt. Your response, sir?
Well, I think it's interesting because the Coast Guard actually requested the state's assistance to handle all these vessels coming. But I think what we've done, and we've been very aggressive really across the board at mitigating the damage from Biden's disastrous border policies. And part of it is, just what they're doing at the border, but part of it is the message that's gone out to say the rules don't matter, just show up and you're fine. And you can't run a country like that. And it's caused a lot of problems. And so we were seeing, the Coast Guard had brought in like 300 people that they had onboarded and put them in the Florida Keys. Well, they didn't have the ability to take care of those folks. There's vessels left everywhere and people's property and all this. So we declared a state of emergency. We provided Coast Guard the assistance that they've asked for. We are going to clear the vessels free of charge for those residents because it wasn't their fault. Maybe we'll send the bill to Biden. We'll see. But the reality is, this is not the way, you run a country. But what we've been able to do already make a big impact because we're able to deploy air assets to be able to identify if vessels are coming from Cuba, but also Haiti and other places. And then we can then tell the Coast Guard, hey, because the Coast Guard stretched so thin. And what the Coast Guard has told us is, we are not going to get additional resources from the federal government. Like, this is what we have. So we're basically filling gaps that the federal government should be filling and would be filling if they wanted to do it. I would also point out that we are right now, so we took a lot of steps. I mean, obviously, we've transported migrants. We've done, we fought against the sanctuary cities, all these other things, hold contractors accountable, all that. But one of the things we did, I think it was maybe even 2021, these things take forever, but we sued Biden in federal court in the Panhandle on his catch and release policy. So that's in trial right now. Trial's going to end probably today, definitely by tomorrow, and the evidence has been so damning against them, they basically had to admit under oath that not only these policies are what they are, but that the White House knew this was what was going to happen. So this is not just an example of ineptitude. Yes, there's a lot of ineptitude involved, but this is really intentional to have this happening. But the purpose of this is, the way they're able to do the open border is people come across and they grant them parole. Well, you can't just do that blanket, but that's what they've done. So I think we're going to get a ruling to say that they're acting unlawfully by doing the parole and catch and release. And if that's applied nationwide, that's going to be a huge, huge benefit to help keeping the border secure. First of all, you got to send the message: don't come across the border illegally. Like, you're not going to get qualify for status because that's just not how it works. And so send that message, which they don't do. But then if people do come, don't release them into society. Remain in Mexico or send back. And if you do that, you will see this go down very quickly. So what we've been able to do, we're working with the Coast Guard, is you're doing the air assets. We have our water assets out there too with FWC. That's filling these gaps. So now the word is going back to people that were thinking about coming illegally. Man, there's people all over. You're not going to be able to get through. It's not worth doing. So we've seen a big decline in the number of vessels that are coming. And so what we're doing is working. And so I would just tell the White House, not only has the Coast Guard asked us to help, but we have no choice but to help because of your neglect and incompetence.